I'm John Greenfield, I'm an attorney in Boise. At one time, I was very young. I was state chairman of the Democratic Party, elected somehow. And Governor Evans asked me if I would resign. And I told him, why should I do that? And he said, because I'm governor and you're not. And I went home and asked my father, and he said, you better do that, kid. If you don't do that and he loses the election, they're never going to forgive you. And many years later, I told the governor that, and he laughed so hard. And it was true. And I wish the Republican Party would think about these things today.
Your father had also been party chairman.
He'd been party chairman.
Yeah.
It was just common sense. But I came back and became national committeeman. I didn't retard my growth much, but that's what he wanted, and he was governor, and that was it.
Dirk Kempthorne, former governor of Idaho, he was a tough governor, and I saw that side of it. We would not be with the same objective during the campaign. Once that campaign was over, it was over, and I think it's fair to say we became real friends. He's someone that when I became governor, I could reach out to. The tribute you're seeing to him today is really, we need more of this where everyone's willing to lay aside their partisanship and to hold up their citizenship and to say to someone who gave a lot of his life and his family's life, thank you.
I'm Zuriel Knowles, and that's Zuriel. I went to work for the Senate Democrats in the January of 1969 and worked there for 2 years, and he was the minority leader at that time. And then when he came to be governor, when Governor Andrews went back to Washington, then of course I worked for him. As far as he's a good man to work for, his open door policy scared us to death, but because we thought, who's going to, and there were some strange people that went in sometimes that you'd have to grab them and say, oh my gosh, you better not go in right now, and that, but he loved to have that door open, and people responded very well. In fact, when we closed the door after his administration, people were upset about it at first. Easygoing, happy man, great athlete, good friend, and we'll miss him, but his last few years have not been good, and it's time for him to be somewhere where he isn't hurting and where he's happy again. So.
J.D. Williams.
Thank you.
Okay. That man has had an incredible impact on lots of people. He put me on the water board in 1983, and that's how I really got started. The experience I had as state controller was incredible, but for the governor, I would not have been in a position where C. Sen Risch could have appointed me to succeed Joe. He was a very versatile man and very respected, and really people like him have made Idaho, where he's from a relatively small town, but I think he's an example for how anyone in Idaho can do what they want to do.
I am Bruce Nakum.
What do you remember?
When he was running for the governor first time, I was a Democrat in Declo, and I was his finance chair for Minidoka and Cache County. And we were second only to Ada County in raising money for John Evans in his campaign. And then when all the water wars came up, he had me come up and we talked about how to handle that along with Pat Costello and Clive Strong and Pat Cole. But he was here, during really tough times, so the cuts he did surgically and tried to do the least amount of harm. And so I always felt like he never got a lot of credit for that, and he should have got a lot of credit for that. And so the politics didn't prevail as much as the business instincts, and he was able to build compromise.
I'm Steve Scanlon. I served for 2 terms in the House of Representatives under Governor Evans' governorship. And then I went to work for him in 1984, worked for him until 1987. I ran his office in North Idaho. I was his North Idaho Special Representative. And I was his House Representative liaison during the legislative sessions here in Boise. Got to know him very well. We traveled the highways and byways of North Idaho and stayed in the same hotels and motels and visited the same places, and it was my honor to represent him at many occasions. He was a great man. I will miss him dearly. He was a generous, kind, and gentle man, and he was a great guy.